everybody. So today's video is all about the moon and what a special occasion it is to be talking about the moon, because today is actually the new moon. So it's very good energy to be talking about all things moon today. So let's get right into this video. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's happening in the sky right now. So the moon is in Cancer right now. It is the new moon, all about new beginnings. And not only is the moon in Cancer, but the sun is in Cancer and Mercury is in Cancer as well. So there's so much Cancer energy happening right now. So if you're feeling a bit more emotional and a little more sensitive than usual, that's probably why. But not only are all those planets in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, today is Monday, which is the moon's day. So it's just like the perfect timing. I just had to make a video today because all these planets are in Cancer, which are ruled by the moon. It's a new moon, and today is Monday, which is the moon's ruling day. So we're definitely talking about all things moon today. So why is it important to work with the moon? Well, the moon governs our emotions, our natural cycles. It governs the way that we feel about things, right? So when working with the moon, it is very important to use the moon's magic during your any manifestation rituals. So I usually use the moon while doing manifestation rituals, especially during the new moon, because that's when you want to set all of your intentions. I actually do have a new moon ritual video that I had posted, so I will put that in the description below if you want to know how you can use the moon's magic to do a manifestation ritual. But today, even though it is the new moon, we're not really going to be focusing too much on just the new moon. We're going to actually focus more on the phases of the moon and how you can take advantage of those specific times to use them in manifestation with moon magic. So we're gonna start with the new moon. So the new moon is all about new beginnings, fresh start, planting seeds, starting new projects, planning out more of, it's more of the planning stage of where you want to go with your intention and manifestation. When the new moon is dark, this is usually, it manifests in like lower energy. You might be feeling like your energy is a little bit lower. So since that is the case, that's your time to really plant seeds, plant intentions, really throw your goals out there. Like what am I trying to manifest during this moon cycle from new moon to full moon? So your energy might be lower than usual during the new moon stage because the moon is not even existent in the sky. It is completely dark, which manifests as lower energy. It's not bright and full of energy. It's invisible and dark, and your energy is lower. So this is your time to really plan. This is your time to plant seeds of intention towards your goals. So the next phase after the new moon is the waxing moon. So now the moon was dark before, and now the moon is kind of growing in size and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So that's the waxing moon. When the waxing moon is occurring, this is your time to take action. This is your time to do. Your energy is gaining. You are getting more energy, you're getting more vitality, you're feeling better, you're taking more action towards your goals. So during the new moon, you were planting seeds, you were kind of resting, reflecting, kind of really planning out your goals, writing stuff down, right? Writing it down is a very important step. I just want to make that very clear. Writing down your goals is very, very important. So you're planning, right? And then we have the waxing moon. Okay, you planned, you planted your seeds, you set your intention forth. Now you're taking action. Now you're actually doing things that are going to result in you harvesting the fruits of your labor later on. So you're taking the actions now. You're doing what you have to do. You're going out, you're making calls, you're doing your work, you're doing whatever it is, working on new projects, whatever it may be that you are working on. within or without, regardless, you're taking more action. So during this time, your energy is building up. It's getting higher and higher and better. You're feeling better. You're able to take action because the moon's light is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's leading up to the full moon. So now you're at the full moon, right? I have a different feeling about the new moon. I have a different feeling about the full moon than most people do. I feel like the majority of people who work with the moon and moon magic or witches, that community, I feel like a lot of them say that the full moon is a time of reflection and rest because you were working so hard taking action all the way up into the full moon. While I do agree with this, I do feel like if you are kind of burned out from taking action during the waxing moon, then yes, of course you want to reflect on all the hard work you put in. But in my opinion, the full moon is at its brightest. The full moon is at its peak energy. Like, this is when the moon is shining the brightest. It is giving off the most energy. Me personally, I take advantage of the full moon, and if I'm feeling inspired to take more action, then I'm gonna take more action. So with that being said, if there's like a burst of energy that I'm feeling on the full moon, then I'm going to take advantage of it and go with it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the full moon is kind of looked at as, okay, now you took action, take a break. The moon is full, now you're reflecting upon your goals, which is true. Do not get me wrong, this is all true. You should reflect, you should be happy, you should be in gratitude, looking back at all of those actions you took. You're like, wow, I did such a great job this month. Look at all the things I accomplished. Now let me enjoy the fruits of my labor. I look at the full moon like, why don't I take one last giant leap of energy? Like, why don't I just exchange my energy one last time while this moon is at its brightest? Like, this is where I could potentially get the most done. Like, I have an abundance of energy right now. The moon is full. You know how they say, like, on the full moon, a lot of accidents happen, or a lot of 911 calls happen because the full moon energy is just so intense. People just are like restless and all those things. I kind of tune into that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna channel this energy and I'm gonna make use of it while reflecting at the same time. So it's like kind of a balance there. Like, I wanna take one last big action, one last big thing to leave the full moon with that energy. And once the full moon goes away, back to the waning phase, which we're gonna get into, then that's when it's like, okay, now my energy is going back down, now I'm gonna reflect more, right? So just think of it that way. Like, the full moon is definitely a time of reflection, and the full moon is the phase of the moon that is the most talked about. But also remind yourself, the full moon is at its brightest, at its most potent energy. You can also take advantage of that high energy too and still take action on the full moon. So we talked about the new moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, and now we're gonna go into the final phase, which is the waning moon. So this is when the moon was full and now it's shrinking back in size, right? Now it's shrinking. You have taken all your action, you have reflected on all your goals, reflected on everything that you've done. Now it is your time to release, surrender, let go of everything. Do not focus so much on what happened. You've already kind of done your reflection during the full moon. You've taken your action. Now it's time for you to just let it go and let the moon and the universe do its work and help you manifest and co-create with you. Now you're rejuvenating yourself. You're gaining your energy back by resting. Rest is very essential during the waning moon phase. So this is the time where you probably want to just kind of chill out. Your energy is not as high. It's like you're coming down from a high, like a very high vibrational energy, and you're like restless, and now you're into the waning phase, and you're like, okay, breathe now. Now I'm gonna breathe. Now I'm gonna surrender, let go, and just allow these forces to work. So now you're resting, now you're letting go, you're releasing, you're making space. Now you're making space again for you to create something new. You're letting go of all of those old emotions, all of those old thought patterns, releasing everything so that you can now make room to create something new again when it comes back to the new moon, right? So then once you get back to the new moon, the cycle starts all over again, and you just keep working on these goals until they manifest for you. I usually like to work on the same goals until it manifests. Of course, throw extra little things in there every moon cycle, but usually I like to work on the same type of goals each moon until it comes to fruition, so that my energy is not too dispersed everywhere. And it's like, you know, when you're working on so many things at one time and then you get nothing done type thing, that's how I kind of look at it. So I like to keep my focus on one main intention and goal, and work on that until it comes to fruition. And it usually comes faster for me that way. So there you have it. So we have our new moon, then we have the waxing moon, then we have the full moon, then we have the waning moon, and then we go back to the new moon again. So another important thing to point out is I find it very valuable to take a look at the moon and its placement in your birth chart, and to really look at that placement and see where the moon falls in your birth chart, and how the moon will affect you personally when it is going through all of these phases. Like especially during the new moon and the full moon, those ones have very big energetic effects on people. So it would be very, very crucial for you to look at the moon in your birth chart and see its placement, its planet, what house it's in, and how that relates to what sign that the transiting moon is in, right? So you can go to my website, and I have a tab where you can get your free birth chart, and you can generate your birth chart, and you can look at it and see where the moon is at, and that would be very helpful for you in your manifestation with working with the moon and moon magic, and just really just knowing yourself better and learning about yourself. Self-discovery and healing are what I'm all about, so I'm all for it. So thank you guys for watching this video about the moon phases, moon magic, moon manifestation, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go check out my website if you are in need of any healing. If you have any questions about the moon or about your birth chart, please visit my website. I have a bunch of services that can help you in your journey to self-discovery and healing. Okay guys, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.